Welcome, welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday, happy snow situation. I had this funny thought yesterday that, and it wasn't, really that funny, but, yesterday was the second, so Groundhog's Day. And I was talking to someone who said, like this whole past year or so has felt like Groundhog's Day. That every day you're waking up to the same sort of bizarre scenario, wondering what the heck is going on and how you're going to get out of it. And feeling very much like the world is just happening to us, right? And it's been that way, continues to kind of be that way, that the world is happening to us. And so we forget that while everything is happening, they call this the dance, right? The cosmic dance is happening all around us and we're a part of it. We're not separate from it, but we're a part of it. That if we lose track of our ability to respond, right, of our personal ability to change the patterns that we're in, the habits that we're in, the way that we're dancing with that world energy. If we forget that, then we feel overwhelmed all the time, right? And then the waking up every day is like, oh my God, like how am I gonna do this again the same way, right? It feels like there's this repetitiveness that is unending and tiring. Right? The idea is that when we hold on to it, we remember that ability to keep dancing with that energy of the world. We remember that we have that power in us, then we stay energized. And we become, again, the dance. We become the ones that energize the way that the patterns in the world are moving. And maybe it's a little bit slow because we all have to be moving in the same direction to really feel it in a big way. But we remember that it's in you that the change begins to occur. It's in your patterns, the way you relate to that world energy that causes things to shift, right? So let your eyes close for a moment. And just for a breath, let everything go. Wherever you think you are, or wherever you think you aren't, just drop it. And then actually pull your shoulders up towards your ears, squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears, and then just drop them. Let them fall. Yeah, so don't push them down, just drop them. And then squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears and then just drop them. Good, do that a couple more times, squeezing the shoulders up towards the ears and then drop. And again, squeeze them up and drop. And squeeze them up and drop. And one more time, squeeze them up and drop. And then keep the shoulders relaxed, drop the chin towards your chest, and just let the head roll from side to side so the right ear comes towards the right shoulder and just pauses there to feel the stretch on the left side. And then drop it back down towards the center and let the left ear slide over towards the left shoulder, breathing through the right side, and then dropping the chin down and then bringing the right ear towards the right shoulder again, and bringing it down and over left ear to the left shoulder. And then bringing it back down to center. And then lifting the head and finding what feels like you stacking your head on top of your shoulders stacking on top of your ribs stacking on top of your hips dropping down into the floor, nice and wide through your pelvis. Good. And then breathe one more full breath. Just that tiny bit of movement created a space that wasn't there before. It's the miracle. A tiny shift creates space that wasn't there before. And bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. Release your hands, please, and then come onto your backs. So come forward, come onto your backs. Good. With your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, just do a little bit of pelvic tilt. So with your feet flat, just roll through the range of motion of your pelvis. So the inhale is like you're arching your back, tilting your pelvis towards your heels. The top of the pelvis moves forward. Good, you're arching into the lower spine, groin softening towards the floor, and then exhaling, bringing the top of the hip points up towards your belly button, hollowing the low abdominals. Try not to squeeze your butt too much. Good, and then tilt the pelvis the other direction again. Nice, keeping the ribs and the shoulders nice and relaxed, and then exhaling, curling through the lower spine. So again, you feel that pressure through the sacrum from hollowing the belly. That a couple more times, just tilting the pelvis forward and back. Again, moving with that slowness, that this is meant to be sort of that massage for the lower back into the middle back. Good. Right, becoming aware that internally, the tiny ways that you shift your patterns are what allow there to be these big, exponentially bigger experiences of freedom. So we don't start from the big picture all the way out and say, how am I going to change that? Is we start from the very, very deep internal personal. How do I do this tiny little shift in me that cascades, right? It turns everything going forward into something bigger and bigger and bigger. It snowballs, right? Good. This is the power that you have in that cosmic dance, that you are the cosmic dancer. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Finding what feels like a neutral pelvis, and then arms straight alongside your torso. As you breathe up into bridge, lift your hips, take your arms up alongside your ears so your hands find the floor above the top of your head, so a nice long stretch of the spine. And then exhale, release down, try to articulate, so find almost rounding through your back as you come back down. And maybe find that little pelvic tilt. And then as you inhale again, rise all the way up into bridge. And then as you exhale again, almost roll down the spine. Good. And then keep moving like that, inhaling, lifting the hips. Exhaling, rolling back down the spine. And again, you can let the pelvis kind of tilt with you here so that when you come all the way down, go into that little arch of the spine, pelvic tilt, and then release it as you come back up into the bridge position. Good. And it does not matter at all how high you come up into your bridge. Doesn't matter if you think you're going to the full extent of your ability in the pose, is you're just breathing long through your side body, breathing long through your legs. Good. Good job making space, Molly and Lisa and Hannah. Just like the studio, right? Just move your mat over. Good. Couple more breaths, just moving in and out of bridge, opening up the armpits. Nice. And the next time your hips find the floor, let them rest there. Good. And then take your right ankle on top of your left thigh, right ankle on top of left thigh. Lift your left shin parallel to the floor. Then reach through to hold. So years ago, many of you have probably heard this, and I had to go looking for it because I knew I had it written down somewhere. And ironically, it's actually from January of 2011 that I have it written down. Imagine that, on a snow day, right? So very appropriate. But it's what's titled is the Autobiography in 5 short chapters, right? So you can put a whole life in 5 short chapters. I'm going to read it to you in just a second. So deep breath in. And then as you exhale, pull the legs in closer towards you. As the legs pull in, scoop your low belly, press your low back down to the floor. Good. And then let your legs come slightly away from your belly. Nice. Then as you exhale again, pull the legs in a little deeper, scoop your belly, press your low back down to the floor, press your middle ribs down to the floor. And then let the legs come back out to where they started. And then the last time, squeeze the legs in a little closer. Good. Again, hollow through that middle rib area, press back, low back down to the floor. And then lift your shoulders up off of the floor. Squeeze those legs in, but keep pressing through the back of your ribs and through the back of your low sacrum. Good. And then slowly release, please. Good. Keep the ankle stacked. Stretch your left leg straight up towards the sky, still holding the thigh. And then press that thigh against your hand. Good. Reach up through that heel. Nice job. And then a deep breath in here. Exhaling again, if you'd like, lift your shoulders up. Squeeze that leg in a little closer. Good. Beautiful. And then slowly release. Nice. Unwinding. Good. Keep the ankle stacked on top of the knee, sorry. So unwind that position. Bend your left knee again, place that foot down to the floor, and then let your feet drop to your left, please. So your right foot is going to come down to flat to the floor, keep the ankle against the thigh, and then start to move your right knee to face up towards the ceiling. So as that knee starts to point up, You're taking the right side of your sacrum down to the floor as much as you can. So you're widening through that right side of your lower back, but keeping the ankle against the thigh if you can. Good. Yeah, just breathe through that space of the outer hip into the side ribs. So the autobiography in 5 short chapters. Chapter 1, I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm helpless. It is not my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Chapter 2, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I do not see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place. It is not my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Chapter 3, I walk down the same street. There is a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It is a habit. My eyes are wide open. I know where I am. It is my fault. I get out immediately. Chapter 4, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5, I walk down another street. It's your whole life there, right? Bring yourself back to center, please. Unwind the ankle, squeeze both knees in towards your chest. Let the knees go a little wider, like you're doing child's pose on your back. So you're pulling the knees towards the armpits and pressing your shins back against your hands or pressing your knees back against your hands. Good. Nice, you guys. Awesome. And then let that go. Take the left ankle on top of your right thigh. Good. Reach through to hold the right leg. Right shin parallels the floor. Flexing both feet. I thought that was so appropriate for this kind of concept of the Groundhog's Day. We keep doing the same thing over and over again, convinced that it's not us that needs to change, it's everybody else. Or it's everything else needs to change, and then we'll change. I'll do it if you do it. And so we keep falling in the same hole and wondering, how did this happen again? Deep breath in. And then as you exhale, bring the legs in a little closer. So squeeze the legs in towards the belly and then press the low back down to the floor. Good. And then let the legs come back away from the belly. Then exhale again, squeeze the legs a little closer in. Good. Press through your lower spine. Let the legs come back out. Then last time, squeezing the legs in. Good. Pull in, press that low back down to the floor, and then lift your shoulders up if you'd like. So curl all the way in. Good. Press through the back of your middle ribs. Nice. And then release the shoulders back to the floor, please. Keep holding that thigh. Extend the right heel up towards the ceiling, so straighten that leg. Press the thigh back against your hands. Good. And still try and find that feeling of hollowing your low belly and pressing your sacrum down to the floor. Good. And then a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, lift your shoulders again. So bring the legs in a little closer. Good. Yeah, squeeze yourself in. Nice. And then release the shoulders back down. Really nice, Tara. Good. Unwind your arms. Keep your ankle where it is. Bend your right knee. Plant that right foot down to the floor. And then let your feet drop or your knees drop to your right, please. So your left foot is going to come flat to the floor. Ankle still pressed against the thigh. And you're lifting the left knee to face up towards the ceiling. So you're going the other way, Susan. There you go. Good. And as that knee starts to face upward, and it doesn't have to face completely to the ceiling, but you're trying to lift it up, that left side of your low back is reaching down for the floor. Good. So it's almost like you're trying to do like a reverse twist. Good. Nice. And so we contemplate that ability that we can cultivate the awareness, or that we can come to the awareness that when it's us that keeps perpetuating the same pattern, that we have the ability to stop. We have the ability to change. And that it's that action, right? Each of us individually that creates that tapestry or that cosmic dance, is that we are those moving lines of energy. We are the prana. There's the whole world, right, is manifested from our collective minds. So if you don't like the way that it's going, pay attention to the patterns that your mind runs in, because that's what's going to influence that collective experience very directly. And then you act upon it, of course. Keep that left side low back reaching for the floor. Good. Nice, you guys. So you're Your whole life in 5 paragraphs is just figuring out how to stop falling in the same hole over and over. And then bring yourself back up to center, please. Good. Unwind the legs again. Squeeze the knees in towards your chest. Good. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees and then roll forward and back on your spine. Good. Keep rolling. Keep rolling forward and back, forward and back. Good. Get yourself a little momentum. Can you roll up to squat? Of course you can. Hooah! There you go. Nice. Close enough. Good. Find your way forward to squat if you can. If squat is too much at this point in class, then Baddha Konasana is fine. Sit on your butt. Good. And then right hand down to the floor, please. Left arm to the sky, open. So you're pressing that right forearm against your inner right thigh. So you're moving it wider. Good. Chest open, open, open. Nice, Joanne. And then release and switch. Left hand down inside the left knee. Take the right arm up to the sky. Good, Kristen. Watch that left shoulder doesn't fall in. There you go. Nice. Good, Susan. And then release that hand down to the floor, please. Nice job. Start to straighten the legs. Turn your toes forward, standing forward fold. Good. Keep your feet as wide as your mat, but the feet facing straight ahead. Bend your knees, drop your thighs back parallel to the floor. Walk your fingertips forward just a little bit longer, and then start to cat-cow your spine, but drop your hips low, thighs parallel the floor. Yep, so butt down, Emily. There you go. Nice. Keep those inner knees nice and wide, but press through the big toe mounds of your feet. Good. Yeah, I want your thighs to wake up. Good. And not with that energy again of, oh, there's so much work to do and I don't want to do it. Right? The parts of our body that start to feel very heavy, it's because they're not integrated or they're not awake to what their job is, right? They end up doing a job that isn't their own. So they get tired. Right? They're running in patterns that are incorrect for what they're built for. So they get tired and they get heavy and then we don't want to deal with them. Don't let your thighs be that. Good. And then come to stillness, please. Walk your hands back in, start to take your legs back to straight. Nice job. And then right hand reaches for outer left ankle, left arm to the sky, spinal twist. Good. Nice, you guys. And then release back to center, please. Take your left hand to your outer right ankle, right arm to the sky. Pull those inner thighs wide. Good. And release. Nice job. Good. Take your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to stand. And then stretch your arms out wide. So Molly, Hannah, and Lisa might have to stagger yourselves a little bit. Take your arms out wide. All right, do you remember this? Windmills, right? So right hand reaches down for your left toes, right? So it's like you're coming into that same twist, right hand to left foot, go. And then back up to center, and then left hand to right foot, and back up to center. Good, keep doing that. Keep your pelvis nice and stable. Move with your breath. So again, as adults, you are conscious of what you're doing. When you did this in gym class, you didn't care, right? Do it like you care. So every exhale is a conscious twist of your ribs and keep your pelvis from twisting with you. So you're twisting the trunk. Good. Nice, you guys. Pay attention to that connection of the wrists to each other so that your arm that is lifting is not just getting yanked behind you, but it's staying in alignment with the arm that is reaching across the body. So keep your chest open, keep your shoulders open. Good. Next time you're reaching for your ankle, pause. What is the arm in the air doing? Make sure that your shoulder is open. Pull the hand towards the top of your head a little bit more so that that shoulder can truly be open, and then come all the way back up. Good. Now go the other way. Pause. What is the arm that's in the air doing? Good. Adjust it. And then back up to center. Good. Now go back to the rhythm that you had before with your breath, exhaling, reaching diagonal, coming back up, being aware of what the arm that's in the air is doing. So you're keeping your chest as open as you can. The goal is not to reach your hand to your foot. The goal is to twist your trunk as universally open as you can. Good. Nice. Beautiful. Awesome, you guys. Old-fashioned calisthenics. It's good for you. Is your heart rate getting up? Good. And then come back up to center, please. Pause with the arms out wide, with the feet wide, eyes closed. And can you just feel the energy running through you? This is some of the benefit of, that cardio activity, is that you actually feel the enlivening energy. And we're not just talking endorphins, we're talking prana. Right? We're talking the energy in you, the living tissue in you that has been stagnant is suddenly moving. So breathe very deeply into that and it will enliven even more. Good. And then bring your hands to your hips, heel toe your feet underneath your hips, please. Left leg, standing leg, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Yep, squeeze it in. Good, and as you squeeze that knee in, send your butt back, top of your left thigh goes back, and then stretch your arms straight up towards the sky. Good, pull up, maybe even interlace your fingers and press the heels of your hands up so that you have this feeling that you're pushing your butt back towards a wall behind you, you're pulling your ribs in and you're stretching up like you're gonna touch the ceiling. Good. Now take that right leg back behind you to a lunge. So not to warrior three, but step it way back behind you to a high lunge. Good. Nice, you guys. Beautiful. Take your arms out wide, cactus arms. Twist to your left, so you're turning towards the front thigh, and then stretch the arms out wide to letter T again, paying attention, that connection of wrist to wrist. Good. And then look forward, take your right arm out, extend out through that right rib cage, let the right fingertips touch down to the floor, left arm up. Don't put any weight on that hand though. Good, just squeeze the legs towards each other. And now come right back up into the standing twist. Pull through your left arm, through your left side body, all the way up. Good, and then take that right hand down to the floor again. So you're just kind of seesawing into that standing twist and out again. So same hand though, Harriet, it's still the right arm forward. Good, and then come back up to the standing. Nice, you got it. And then one more time, let that right hand touch down to the floor. Good, let your weight rest there this time. Left arm reaches, hang out in the twist. I know if that just didn't make any sense to you, don't worry. You're where you're supposed to be. Good, release that left hand down to the floor, please. Drop the back knee, both hands come inside the front foot. Good, walk yourself straight ahead, coming into lizard. So you're straight inside that knee. Keep the knee on top of the ankle. So try not to let it come forward of that, and then drop down to your forearms if you can. If the forearms coming to the floor is not a possibility today, stay on your fingertips, but have your arms be extended so you get that same length on your side body. Good. Nice, staying really conscious of pressing through the front heel and pressing into your forearms. So again, you're not just resting towards the floor, but you're pressing into your forearms to keep your chest lifted, to keep your upper back awake. Good. Nice. We practice asana specifically to change the flows of prana in the body, to make them more efficient, to move out what has become stagnant. In the same way that this starts to trigger, right? When we're breathing consciously, it starts to trigger this transition of the way our mind is working too. So you don't go into the practice saying, this is how I'm going to improve myself. If you do, you're probably going to get frustrated. Instead, you go into the practice and say, this is where my breath takes me. This is what comes up that seems to be in my way. This is the resolution to where my irritation keeps distracting me. And you let those patterns change. Those are the holes that we fall in, right? It's not the external holes. It's the internal ones that we keep running in and saying, it's not my fault that it keeps happening. But you're the only one who can change it. One more breath. Good. And then right forearm turn so that your right hand can hold your left ankle. Take your left arm up to the sky, twist. But press into that forearm, again, almost like it's in Sphinx pose. Good. And then optional here, if this feels comfortable, go ahead and bend the back knee, kick your heel and reach for the ankle. Good. If being on the forearm doesn't make that allowable, you can come up on your right hand instead and do that same quad stretch. You got it, Susan. You're in the right place. Good. Open the chest. Nice. Shoulder open, Harriet. Nice, Emily. Be realistic with yourselves, guys. Good. And then slowly release the foot if you're holding it. Unwind your twist. Good. Lift that back knee up. Nice job. And then drop the back heel, baby toe parallels back of your mat. Cartwheel the arms up to warrior two. Oh. and preparation for triangle. Straighten the front thigh. Good. And then reach that left arm nice and long. Again, paying attention, wrist to wrist. There's a connection. Let that left hand touch down, front leg floor or block, right arm to the sky. Good. So the same rules are going to apply every single time when your arms are wide this way, right? Is that you want that universal or that equal openness on both sides. So it might mean that your top hand, your right hand, has to come forward in space a little bit. And then the actual top of your right arm bone and your armpit has to actually fall back in space. Good. And that might feel frustrating, but that's what lets you actually move your rib cage open more. Nice. Beautiful, you guys. One more breath. Good. And then bend the left knee again, please. Good. Take the arms back up to warrior two. That's it. Beautiful. I changed my mind. Straighten your front thigh. I was going to go somewhere else. I changed my mind. Turn your left foot same direction as your right. So you have wide legs. Reach back behind you. Interlace your fingers. Nice deep breath in. Good. Squeeze those upper arms and then reach the hands down as you pull your armpits up. Good. And then bow forward any amount. Take the arms up and overhead if you'd like, or keep the arms closer to the sacrum if that feels like it makes more sense for your shoulders. Good. Nice, you guys. Let your weight fall towards the front of your feet just a little bit more, and then scoop your belly, press your sacrum up towards the sky. Nice, Joanne. Nice, Susan. Nice, Laura. Good, Molly. Molly, lift the back of your throat a little more. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Nice, you guys. Walk back towards the top of your mat. Left toes turn forward. Step back to downward facing dog. Good. And then slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need. Good. Rise up cobra, lift head, neck, and chest. Beautiful. And then come back downward facing dog. Good. Look forward between the hands. Jump your feet forward to squat are the words. Good. Knees are nice and wide, feet turned out. And again, if squat's not available, chair is great, or even sitting in Baddha Konasana is an option. Good, you guys. Then right hand touches down, left arm to the sky. Good. Again, paying attention, that connection from wrist to wrist. So you're not just opening one shoulder, is can you universally open both? So that right arm has to press back and wide. Right shoulder has to press back and wide. Good. Release and switch. Take the left hand down inside the left knee. Take your right arm up. Again, with the same feeling of as you rotate the ribs, right? Is it's not just the right side body that's opening, is that you're twisting through the whole side body. And the left shoulder is pushing wide even as the right shoulder pulls wide. Good. Nice, Lisa. And then release that hand down to the floor, please. Good. Take both arms up to the sky. Yeah. Good. Drop your seat. Nice, you guys. Yeah, drop your seat all the way to the floor. Not quite. Good. Hands to the floor, please. Straighten the legs. Forward fold. Nice try. If you did end up on your butt, that's okay. Okay, heel toe your feet a little closer, please. Take your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to stand. Good. And then what do we have here? We have the right leg, standing leg, left knee pulls up in towards your chest. Is that correct? I hope. I think it is. Good. So squeeze that knee in for a moment. As you squeeze that knee in, send the top of your right thigh back in space. Good. And then arms up to the sky. And again, you can interlace the fingers and press the heels of the hands up here if you want, or just keep the arms where they are, but push your butt back. Take the top of your right thigh up and back. Good. And then you're stepping that left foot back behind you into a high lunge. So again, you can't see, so you've got to pay attention. Good. Nice, you guys. Awesome. And then take your arms out wide. Cactus arms, please. Good. And then you're twisting to the right. And as you come into that twist, the back thigh lifts a little higher, and then stretch the arms out to letter T. Good. So again, you're just doing like a seesaw kind of teetering thing here. So you're reaching through that left rib cage forward. Let the left hand touch down to the floor, right arm up, but no weight there. because then you're going to come right back up to that standing position. So pull through the right arm and come all the way back up, still in the twist. And then reach forward and down, left hand touches down, right arm to the sky, open chest, and then come all the way back up. So every time your hand touches down, it's a trigger to open your chest more. And then bring the left hand forward and down again. Back thigh kicks a little higher, open chest. Good, and then come all the way back up to stand. Nice, Lisa, nice, Hannah. Good, Laura, you got it. And then one more time, take that left hand down to the floor, let it rest this time, right arm to the sky, find that full twist. Good. Nice, you guys. Beautiful, and then release that right hand down alongside the left, drop your back knee, take both hands inside the front foot and then walk straight forward again. So your shoulders are staying square right inside that front knee, and then come on down to your forearms if you can. If that's not available, you can be on blocks or stay on fingertips, just keep your arms extended. Again, you're trying not to let the knee go forward of the ankle, try and keep it right on top. Good. Nice, you guys. And remembering that you're pushing into your forearms so that you're not falling into that or curling, rounding into it, but you're using the press of the forearms to keep your chest open. Good. Nice, you guys. That strong, steady energy of the legs. Good. A grounded energy that says that whatever it is that you think or feel will be translated into the world, whether you are intending it to be or not. That's what we learn about prana. That's what we learn about karma, is that whatever you are thinking and feeling, even if you think you're not acting on it, it is contributing to that collective dance of the world. So it is up to you to take care of the holes that you fall in your own life, even if you think they have nothing to do with anybody else. The fact that you keep falling into them means that it is contributing to that collective experience. Good. Nice, you guys. So turn that left forearm here if you can. Left hand holds your right ankle. Right arm comes to the sky. Take the twist. And again, the option here is to bend your back knee, reach back for the foot or the ankle on the forearm. If doing that on the forearm doesn't work, reaching for the quad doesn't work, then come up onto your left hand, come up higher in the lunge and reach back for the foot or the ankle. Good. Nice. One is not better than the other. It's just a question of what your quads and your hips are going to allow. Good. Chest open. Still that relationship of right shoulder and left shoulder. Awesome. Nice, you guys. And then slowly release the foot, please. Release the arm. Nice. Lift your back knee. Good. And then drop that back heel. Baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Cartwheel the arms up. Warrior two. Good. And preparation, triangle pose, straighten your front thigh, and then extend forward, reaching long through the right rib cage. Let the right hand touch down to the floor, front leg or block, left arm to the sky. Again, looking at that relationship of how you are opening both sides of the chest equally, or trying to. Good. Nice little adjustment there, Lisa. Awesome, you guys. That reaching to the sky and that reaching down to the earth at the same time, right? That's the cosmic dance, is you're always reaching for where is the most awareness in you, the most conscious part of you. And then where's the part of you that's stuck in the muck, that's stuck in the world, that's stuck in the patterns? And how do you merge them? That's what we call yoga, when they become one and the same experience. Good. Bend that front knee again, please. Bring the arms back up to warrior two. Good. And then straighten the front thigh. Turn the right toes the same direction as your left. Reach behind you again, either to hold opposite, not opposite elbows, either to interlace your fingers again, or coming into reverse prayer, where the palms are together, fingers pointing up between the shoulder blades. So if reverse prayer is not a possibility, don't worry about it. Just interlace your fingers. And then a deep breath in. bow forward. If you're clasping your hands, take the arms up and over any amount that you'd like. If you're in reverse prayer, keep those hands pressed against the spine, but lift your arm bones up and wide so you keep your chest open and those bottom tips of your shoulder blades keep scooping in. Nice. Yeah, so objectively, reverse prayer is the more difficult shoulder position to be in. So if you don't feel that way, maybe lift those arm bones a little higher. Good. And then release the hands all the way down to the floor, please. Nice job, you guys. Beautiful. Walk back towards the top of your mat, right toes turn forward, spin your back heel up. Good. Step back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Good. Bring your feet together, please. Vajrasana, right side. So turn onto the baby toe edge of your right foot. Right arm holds you. Left arm comes to the sky. Good. That same relationship between the arms, right? So it's not one arm is doing all the work and the other one just gets to hang out, is that you're actually really pulling through both arms. Beautiful. And then step that top foot back behind you, please, up on your tippy toes. Good. And then lift your chest open, open, open. Again, trying to maintain that you are opening both shoulders equally. So fall back into that back foot. Nice, but still squeeze the arms up into the back of the heart to open the chest. Awesome. And then bring it all the way back to downward facing dog. Pull those ribs in, belly in as you come back to down dog. Good. And then slide forward, plank pose on the second side, or Vajrasana on the second side. Feet together, come onto the baby toe of your left foot, left arm holds you, right arm to the sky. And again, you're looking at how to open the chest here. So sternum reaches up towards the top of your head. Good. Almost like you're trying to roll that left shoulder up and back. Nice. And really reach. So you're pulling through that left armpit. The left armpit pulls away from the floor. Nice. Top foot steps back behind you. Bend the knee up on the tippy toes. Push into the legs to lift your hips more. And then draw those shoulder blades behind your heart. So squeeze in to feel the lift of your chest and let your head go back. Good. Yeah. Nice, Lisa. Nice, Hannah. Nice, Laura. Nice, Emily. Beautiful. And then bring it all the way back. Nice, Harriet. Downward facing dog. Good. And then drop down to your knees, please. Take a child's pose. Hua. Nice. You guys walk your torso to the right. Then bring yourself back to center and go to the left. To me, the most significant chapter in that little, story is the chapter 3. It says, my eyes are wide open. I know where I am, and it is my fault. And from there, I get out immediately. Right? That's the spiritual mindset, right? Of I recognize how I am acting in the world and how I'm contributing. As soon as I know it, as soon as I'm aware of it, I have the power to change. And not because I insist that the rest of the world has to change because of me, but that if I don't reach for my own freedom, then who else is going to? Come back to center. If I don't want this so badly for myself and others that I'm willing to change, whose job is it? Right? It's always been yours. It's your prana, it's your energy. Groundhog's Day scenario breaks when we have that realization. I can take another road. I can change this pattern. Walk your hands back in, please. Good. Come up into a high kneeling position for camel pose. If you want to block for between the thighs, you can have that. If you want a blanket for underneath your knees, you can have that. Good. And then taking your hands to the lower back, fingers pointing down towards your tail so that you have the flats of your hands at your sacrum. I want you to feel that pressing back of your sacrum into your hands. Hug those upper arms and then start to hinge back. So again, that long line, bring the thighs back, bring your ribs back, bring everything back and press down into your shins. And then lift your sternum super high, like it's suspended on a string. And then let your hands drip back behind you, maybe to find your heels or maybe just to hang. I think that's a great thing in camel. If you can find yourself in that position where you just hang, It's awesome. And a long throat. Drop your chin slightly towards your chest, but elongate. So draw those tops of the shoulders wide away from your ears as you extend the neck. Good. And then navel to spine, come all the way back up. Nice job. And then take your hips back to your heels, please. Sit between your heels or on your heels, your choice. You can use a block between your feet if you'd like. Stretch your arms out wide. Right arm comes over top of left in front of your chest. Wrap the arms for eagle. Good. Just softening the ribs back and in, dropping into your seat and taking the tops of your shoulders. Again, drop them away from your ears. Good. And a long throat. Beautiful. And then stretch the arms out wide. Take the other arm on top, wrapping the forearms. Good. Softening the ribs, dropping into your seat. Good. This is the constant, right? We always have to keep taking our mind back to soften and drop, soften and drop, soften and drop. Right? Because it's our intensity that we have to move something forward the way that we're used to doing it that creates momentum. The momentum is what we call karma, when things feel like they're out of our control and we're just being pulled along. So you stop your momentum. And when you pick up again, you do it with a consciousness that says, this is the way that I'm going to be in the world because this is how I truly wish to be in the world. I'm not being pushed to be something I'm not. I'm not making a choice to act as something that doesn't feel true. Good. Release the arms, please. Come all the way back up to that kneeling position, second camel pose. Good. So again, if you like that hands at the lower back, you can keep them there. If you want to try starting with your hands behind your head, that's another option. So wherever you want to place the hands, again, draw the ribs in, drop through your tail. So you feel the sensation of elongating your lower back. Good. So it's like you're dragging your butt cheeks down towards the floor. And then hinge back. All of the energy of elongating the front of the body comes from your ribs and your abdominals. So pull up through the top of your chest. Good. Press down through the shins. And then again, let the hands drop back behind you, maybe to find your heels, maybe to find blocks, maybe just to hang. Good. Nice, you guys. And then navel to spine, come all the way back up. Good. If you have to come up one shoulder at a time, I want you to really notice that because that little twist through the spine can actually cause us more problems, right? Drop your hips back towards your heels. Good. Forehead to the floor. Stretch your arms back behind you. Interlace your fingers at your low back. Then roll up onto the crown of your head. Take the arms up and over any amount. And if adding the arms to this position doesn't feel great, then leave the arms out. Just let your hands hold your ankles and roll up to the crown of your head. Good. And then release the hips back down, release the hands back down. Pause for a moment, forehead to the floor. Nice. And then walk yourself back up, please. Good. So your third camel is actually a little one-legged camel variation. So what this looks like, again, you want to have a cushion underneath the knees if you feel that you need that. So come up to that high kneeling position and you're drawing your right heel in towards your butt. So you're balancing on that right knee like you're in a quad stretch. So draw that heel in towards your butt. Yep, you got it. And then you're leaning back to find camel with the other hand, right? So that's the option, is to reach back for the left heel with your left hand and find camel. The other option here is to come into more of an Anjaneyasana with your left leg forward in a lunge and find the quad stretch there. Good, but you're drawing that heel in towards your butt, send your butt towards the heel. So Emily, use your hand to hold the foot. Yeah, so you keep that quad stretch in and then you're reaching back for some version of camel with the other leg. Good. Yeah, it's complicated. Nice. You got it. Then come all the way back up. Good. Give yourself a moment. Maybe sit back on your heels. And then we're going to try the other side. Contemplate how you go into the position, right? If you go into it ready to fight with yourself, as you're going to have a fight. If you go into it with the feeling of, can I just find the length of my thighs? right? Because that's what Camel's really about. Can I find the length of my thighs, and can I find my ability to extend from my pelvis? Then you'll be fine. It doesn't matter where the hands actually go. So come all the way back up, second side. So the left knee or the left foot comes in towards your left butt cheek, and just pause there. So don't reach for Camel immediately. Just bring that heel in, find the quad stretch. Good, so you're balancing basically on that knee. You've got to find that pressing down of your right shin to support you. Good. And then any amount, right? Keep your butt moving towards that heel, and then lift the front edge of your pelvis. So that's really the quad stretch, right? Then you can start to lean back, let that right hand reach for the right heel or to a block, or keep your hand at your lower back and only go as far as your thigh really allows. Good. Nice. Try and keep that left heel in towards your butt as much as you can. Nice. It's not an easy position. Good. And then bring yourself all the way back up. Nice job, you guys. Good. Come to hands and knees, please. Do a little cat and cow. Beautiful. Not what you thought when I said upper back opening and, you've been shoveling all day. What's crazy, right, is that when we do things like that, is we generally always say, oh, my shoulders are achy, my shoulders are sore, my upper back is sore. What about your legs? Your lower back. Legs get super sore, super overworked doing that kind of stuff. And you pay all that attention to your shoulders, and meanwhile, your lower back locks up, and for the next 3 weeks, you're like, I don't understand why my back hurts. It's like, well, you didn't pay attention to it. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Nice job. Downward facing dog. Don't let your legs become a place that is just full of heaviness. Don't let the lower body or even the, basic functioning in the world become something that drags you down. It's part of the dance. Right leg comes up and back behind you, down dog split. It's like how the best dance music wouldn't be any good if it didn't have that deep bass, right? It's your leg energy. Good. Bring that right knee forward and wide for pigeon pose, please. And sliding the left leg back. Good. Nice. Front foot stays really awake. Good. Optional here before you come forward is to stay upright, bend the back knee, take your heel in towards your butt and come into the quad stretch. Either same hand to the foot or reaching the opposite hand to the foot if you want to come back to a twist. Good. Press that back thigh down and forward. Lift your chest up, up, up. Stay as vertical as you can. Nice, Lisa. Nice, Molly. Nice, Tara. Good. Beautiful, Laura. Nice, Harriet. And then slowly release the foot, please. Good. Walk yourself forward. Come into your forward fold, whatever that looks like. It can be on your forearms, can be on blocks. Good. That quad stretching, right? Simulating. We could just sit and do dancer pose, right? The idea of the cosmic dancer, standing quad stretch. Or you can choose to find that same openness in 1,000 other different ways. And this is what yoga reminds us, that because everything is one, because everything is really, truly 100% connected, is that whatever you're seeking is you can find it in 1,000 different ways. It doesn't have to be that one way, but our insistence on keeping it one way, that's what creates karma. Right? Our attachment to it must be this way because that's the way I did it before. So I know the result. I know exactly how it's going to go, and that's what I like. Knowing how it's going to go, even if how it's going to go is me falling in a hole. That cosmic dance, it's happening all around you. And what we call participating in it is not just running through our routines, right? Participating in it is being really conscious of how we are interacting. The subtle ways that we are interacting and the way that we either are or are not paying attention to our own flows of energy. So you are the one who can either keep falling in the hole or can stop yourself. You can walk down another street. And there might be a hole in that street too, right? You never know. But the more you are conscious of where your feet are going, where your mind is going, where your energy is going, the fewer holes you are going to unexpectedly fall in. Take one more breath. I'm going to walk yourself back up onto your hands, please. Good. Lift that back knee, please. Take your right leg up and back to down dog split. Yeah, and then bend that knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, please. Good. Stack the right hip on top of the left. And then for fun, maybe move that right hand slightly towards the center of your mat and reach back with the left hand for your right foot or ankle. Remember, it's fun. Don't come too far back. Otherwise, you are actually going to lose your best balance. You have to still be in down dog. Good. Yeah, left hand reaches back for the foot or the ankle. So it's a twisting. Oh, you guys are so determined. Good. And then slowly release. Nice. Good, Joanne. You got it. Downward facing dog. Vinyasa if you'd like, child's pose if you prefer. If you're doing the vinyasa, you're coming forward to plank, lower down to your belly, rise up cobra, or upward facing dog if that's where you are. Lift those shins off the floor and chest up, 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 up. So Emily, chest has got to come up and hips have to lower slightly. There you go. Downward facing dog. Good. Then we're coming into pigeon on the other side. So left leg comes up and back behind you, down dog split, and then bring that knee forward and wide. Good. And again, staying upright to begin, setting your pelvis, right hip spins forward, left hip goes wide, and then coming into the quad stretch if you'd like. So bending the right knee, reaching back either with the same hand for the foot or going for the twist, whichever feels happiest to you. Good. Just make sure that whichever one you choose, that you're not sitting onto that left thigh or that left butt cheek. You're still keeping your pelvis level. Good. In front of you. Nice job, you guys. For some of you, reaching for the twist or the even the regular quad stretch, the other hand can come up to the sky. Do no hands. Awesome. Nice, Susan. Nice, Harriet. Good. And then release that hand down to the floor. Nice, Lisa. Release the foot down to the floor and then walk yourself into your forward fold. Good. And we practice to free ourselves from that feeling of heaviness, that the world just keeps happening to us. And the only way that we can manage it is by doing the same thing over and over again, because at least that we feel like we know how it goes, that we have control over it. When in fact, when we start to get into that feeling of pattern, it's really the pattern has control over us. We're no longer conscious of what we're doing or why. We get heavier, we get exhausted. So this metaphor of the cosmic dance is that it's always happening and is eternally happening. And you're part of it. You are interconnected with it in a way that cannot be undone. You can't get yourself out of it. But if you don't consciously participate, then that feeling of heaviness might be your everyday reality. And the mind gravitates to whatever is immediately seems comforting but isn't lasting. And we call that suffering, when we think that's the best we can do. I have to keep falling in the same hole. It's not my fault. Maybe not. You didn't make the hole be there, but you are the one that keeps walking to it. Right? So that cosmic dance, or that energy of the cosmic dance, is that you free yourself of those patterns so that you can consciously be where you are. My eyes are wide open. And it might not be my fault, but I am the one who is in charge of changing the patterns that I am in. I am the one who is able to bridge that hole that I keep falling in, or to take another road, or to warn others that, hey, there's a hole there, don't go that way. And then it's up to them whether they take that advice. But that feeling of lightness, that your life is not a heavy burden. It's not just a path full of holes. It's a dance. Take one more breath. Then walk your hands back up or walk back onto your hands. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Then take your left leg up and back to down dog split. Good, get excited. You know what's coming next. Bend the left knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, stack the left hip on top of the right, and then reach back right hand to try and find the foot or the ankle. Don't fling yourself into reaching. You have to pay attention. That left arm has to pull up into your shoulder. Good, your right leg has to stay really stable. If you go slow and pay attention, you can reach up and find that foot. If you try and throw yourself into it, you're going to knock yourself over. Good, you might knock yourself over anyway, that's okay. Beautiful. Good, nice, Susan, nice, Tara. And then slowly release, unwind. Good, drop the feet to the floor, drop your knees to the floor. Good. Tuck your toes under, please, and then drop your hips back onto your heels with your toes tucked under and take your arms to the sky. So Vajrasana, lightning pose. Good. Bend the right elbow, place the hand behind your heart, and just reach that left hand to the right elbow, stretch the upper arm. I know it's an incredibly uncomfortable position. Hang out in it. Good. And then release the arms, stretch all the way up, come up off of your feet for just a breath. And then keep the toes tucked under, drop your hips back to your heels, sit back down, soften your ribs, drop into your seat, don't avoid it. Bend the left elbow, hand behind your heart, right hand holds the tip of that arm. Good, when I say that, of course, pay attention to your toes, your ankles. If this level of stretch or flexion does not work, don't stay in it for a prolonged period of time. Good, nice option there, Joanne. Soften your ribs, drop through your seat. Beautiful, release the arms, please. Release your hips from your feet. And then come to sit on your butt. I know you don't think about how your feet deal when you have to wear boots that you don't usually wear either, do you? Right leg extends straight out in front of you. Left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Inhale the arms up to the sky, little twist to your right, forward fold. Good, Janu Shirshasana. Good. As soon as I know where I am, I can get out immediately. The whole practice leading up to that is just the realization of this is how I've been dancing, or this is how I've been meeting the energy of that world dance, that cosmic dance. And maybe I've been meeting it ready for a fight, which means you'll get a fight. And maybe a fight that has meaning, and maybe a fight that's just for a fight. Either way, how do you resolve your relationship with the world? Where you can fight with no feeling of grudge, no feeling of resentment. You can act with no feeling of blame. It's not my fault, it's not your fault, but here we are. So if there's anything that's been very Groundhog Day of the last year and that continues, it's that. Is to keep undoing or keep resolving that pattern in us that says that I'm in this fight for the betterment of you and for me. And as long as I'm convinced that I have to fight, we're going to have a fight. So how can I act with no resentment? Over and over again, we wake up and ask that question. And we keep falling in a lot of the same holes. Walk yourself back up. Good. Switch the legs, please. Take the left leg forward. Bend the right knee, bottom of the foot into the inside of the left thigh. Take the arms up. Little twist to your left. And then bow over the left thigh. The cosmic dance is like, you could also say it's like seeing a chessboard, but you can only see it from, the ground level. You can't see it from the aerial view, so you don't know what all the other pieces are doing. The only thing you can be sure of is what you're doing. So you don't worry about that big picture right away. You don't wake up every day and let that become a heavy burden. You wake up and say, well, here's how the energy is moving right now, and here's my piece of it. What am I going to do with it? What's my pattern? And can I avoid those holes that I always fall in? And that lightens us. And as we become lighter, the world becomes lighter. So you are the cosmic dancer. And I think it's next month, it falls a little late this year, Shivaratri, which is that night where Shiva, who is considered the cosmic dancer, the one that actually keeps the energy of the manifested world going, is that he takes a break for a night. It's his wedding night, he takes a break. And so the tradition is that we're all asked to stay up and keep the world going for him. So in what energy do you want to keep the world going? Walk yourself back up, please. Good. And then scoot forward, find your way onto your backs again. Opportunity here for shoulder stand or simply coming into plow if full shoulder stand doesn't feel like it's reasonable. You could also put a block underneath your sacrum and take your legs up to the sky. Good. So any version of that block underneath the sacrum in bridge pose. If you're not interested in having your legs up to the sky, it's fine too. Again, I'm very interested for you, either shoulder stand or plow, so that you have that pressure against the top ridge of your shoulders where it meets your neck. So that pressing, down and wide helps to relieve where there is built up tension there. So either of those great options. Good. If you are in full shoulder stand, I recommend giving yourself at least a couple of breaths to come into plow. You can always come back up to shoulder stand. Beautiful. Again, this feeling of reaching through your spine, but also dropping into the feeling of the heavy support of the upper shoulders and the lightness. The legs become the lightness here. If your legs are heavy in shoulder stand, you're in trouble. So get light, pull up. Last couple of breaths. If you have not yet taken plow pose in full shoulder stand, go ahead and take it. Or continue to ignore me, that's fine. I'm used to it. Good. And then slowly begin to find your way out of your inversion if you are in full shoulder stand or plow, rolling down the spine one vertebra at a time. If you have a block underneath you, take another breath and then place the feet to the floor, move the block. Take a moment with your feet flat on the floor, separate the feet a little wider, let your knees fall in. So not Baddha Konasana, the opposite of that. Knees drop in, feet are slightly wide. And soften through your middle ribs. Good. And then keeping the feet wide, just move the knees on top of the ankles, let the legs rock from side to side, windshield wiper to the right and to the left. Keep the feet a little wider. Good. As the knees drop to the right, let them stay there. Maybe stacking the right ankle on top of your left thigh. Good. If having the added weight on top of your knee does not feel good, then keep the foot off. Beautiful. Softening through your middle ribs. So even though the angle of the pelvis here and the legs is going to pull your lower back away from the floor, keep softening the back rib cage. Keep softening as much as you can through the spine. Get into that heavy feeling that pulls you into a relaxed state of openness. Call that meditation. Relaxed state of openness. Then slowly come back to center, please. Plant both feet as wide as your mat. Drop your knees to your left. And again, you can stay there or take the left ankle on top of the right thigh. It's just funny, in this email from 2011 that has this story written down in it, snow days are God's way of saying play. Lots of things were canceled that day. Go make snow angels and giggle. Om. That's how Cheryl wrote it. So if you forgot in your life recently to go do things that are fun and giggle, to add that energy to the world, stop forgetting. Bring yourself back to center, please. Beautiful. Squeeze the knees in towards the chest. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees. Hug, hug, hug. Good. And then slowly release the shoulders. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Arms up alongside your ears. Full body stretch. Reach through the arms. Reach through the legs. Good. Pull back and down into the floor. Ribs pull back and wide. Good. Chest is wide. Shoulders wide. And then slowly release everything. Let your feet drop open. Arms come alongside you. Palms face up. Make sure that you are warm for Shavasana. And mentally, maybe for at least the first few moments, bring yourself into breathing into all parts. So feeling that there's the wave of the breath that flows through you. So that the inhale, maybe you feel it starting at the tips of your toes. It comes all the way up the legs, all the way up the belly, all the way up the ribs, the chest, the neck, all the way up to the top of your head. And you exhale, you feel that wave flowing back down the spine, all the way from the top to the tips of the toes. And the inhale, the wave sweeps all the way up. And the exhale, the wave sweeps down. So you imagine your breath like that it's not just a singular thread, it's a wave. A wave that moves through you. Very gently bring the awareness back to the breath. Letting the body begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. And take a moment there before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. Bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm, or whatever mudra has been making you happy, serving you well. Our challenge, because day after day, right, the world seems to shift sometimes very dramatically, very quickly, but usually it's much slower. The things that we want to see happen at a slower pace. So it might feel like every day it's like we're running into the same problems or we're falling into the same hole, and we think, well, it's not my fault, it's everybody else. So we come back to this awareness that your life is not a burden. The rest of the world is not a burden. It's not a heaviness that we fall into and think there's no way out of it, right? We're always just in that experience of recognizing, remembering that it's a dance. The rest of the world is a dance, and you have a place in it, a part in it, and it cannot be separated from anybody else's. So the more you are aware of, this is how I'm placing my feet, this is how I'm placing my mind and my words, and this is how I'm contributing, is you have the power to change so much. But not by going to the big things outside right away. You start with what's in you. Avoid the holes in your own life. And then start to see how that change in attitude or that shift in your energy starts to snowball out into the world. The dance is always happening, always will happen. So let it be a joy, not a heaviness. Even shoveling snow is an act of liberation. It really is. So keep your mind there, state of openness to whatever is coming and how you are contributing to the world as it continues to dance and turn. You're not stuck here. Chapter 5, I take another road. Close with the sound of Om, deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week until I see you again. Good. Make sure that you do rest if you've been shoveling, and if you have to go out and do more, make sure that you rest. And keep stretching your back. So you need to do it for a couple days in a row for all the residual soreness to get out.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Veronica.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Veronica.
What a beautiful
Excellent
class.
class.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I like how long your hair is getting, Molly. It's very exciting.
Thank you. It is exciting.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, you guys, I will see you
Veronica,
soon.
thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.